Now, workers of the Metro Mass Transit Limited have begun an indefinite nationwide strike Monday to demand dismissal of the Deputy Managing Director and the board chair of the company. The workers say John Ewukujuaza, the MD, and Asaberima Ansa Sisrekulu III, board chair, have played various roles in the recent disappearance of some 12 Metro Mass buses. Now, Minister of Transport, Jifar Ativo, has been speaking to these workers. Our cameras were there. Take a listen.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me take this opportunity to thank you for ensuring that all state assets are still intact. There are circumstances where, when workers embark on this kind of sit-down strike, they destroy their own working tools. I am happy that I've been informed that nothing like that has happened here. It means you are disciplined workers. I got here this morning because I heard you were not going to move the people of Ghana from one corner to the other. As you know, you are the movers and shakers of transportation as far as our country is concerned, because you penetrate every corner of the country. I felt a bit sad, but I met with your union and we've had a lengthy discussion, and I think there's a need to take certain actions to restore sanity into Metro Mass so that you'll be able to conduct your business in peace and harmony. As you've seen, I've just been presented with the petition, which we have already discussed in the office. As has been said by your union leaders and the General Secretary, certain decisions are beyond me. So I've asked for time to go back and work on them and come back to you. For the investigations that have been conducted, the MD tells me he's submitting the report to the board this afternoon. I have therefore directed that they should call a board meeting on Wednesday and discuss the issues in the report and report back to the ministry latest by Friday, so that whatever action we have to take, we'll also use the report to communicate to the appropriate authorities for your issues to be addressed. I'm very much concerned about the procurement processes which have grounded most of your buses because there are no ties, there are no brake pads, there are no co-mininis that you use. But I want to appeal to you once again. The number of buses that you have, you can still continue your operations while we address your concerns. So I want to appeal to you, please go back to work. Today, hello. Today, a lot of our people have been disadvantaged to move from one community to another. Pregnant women have gone through hell today because Metro Mass decided not to work. I want to appeal to you again. Let's go back to work whilst we address these concerns. Hello. The saying goes that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. I have received your petition. I want to assure you that action will be taken on the concerns that you have raised. But you cannot sit down in the office while these actions are taken. That is why, once again, as your mother, as your sister, as your wife, I am appealing to you that you should go back to work whilst your concerns are addressed. Am I clear? Am I clear? I know. Hello. I know. Because of the relationship that we have, as your sister, as your mother, and as I've already said, as your wife, you will listen to me. You will listen to me so that we find conclusion to the numerous problems that you at Metro Mass are facing. So once again, let's go back to work, please. Let's go back to work. Let's go back to work. That is the only way we can resolve the issues. Thank you.
Now, Latif Idrisu is still at the headquarters of the Metro Mass Transit Limited. He's joined me over the telephone for some more on this. Hello, Latif.
Hello,
what were the workers' reaction to the minister's comments?
Yeah, the minister's comment here was, giving the boo that, the workers right here are not happy with the way the minister was, trying to cool down, tempers here. So when the minister addressed them, they were, not ready to listen to the minister's speech. It was, he was being booed, as it were, throughout his speech. But then the MD came in with his speech, and then they said, okay, then if the MD has spoken, they will listen to the MD and then go back to work.
What is it that the MD said to them?
Yeah, the MD made exactly the point the minister made. But then, they were not ready to listen to the politician. They wanted to hear their MDs, speak. So the minister's speech and that of the MD, you can't draw any line. It's almost the same.
Right.
But then they said they would not listen to the politician. They would rather listen to their MD. And so once the MD has spoken, they will go back to work.
Well, let's take a listen to Noble Apia while he addressed the workers. Well, we'll bring you that visual in a bit, but Latif is still with us over the telephone. Hello, Latif.
Hello, Kevin.
Beyond Noble, I understand also the General Secretary for the Transport, Petroleum and Chemical Workers Union also spoke to the gathering. Exactly what did Idrisu Hussaini say?
Yeah, Idrisu addressed the crowd and intensively, and let's just take a listen to what he had to say to the workers.
Very well.
Why? Umunyabotare. Send a minister Akano, Bibia Benoboko, the Bebestram say by 1 o'clock, in Asia Jumasi, Najma Kanyano, me short of Bayas why, Nayanga Juma. You're some why.
After this person,
Minister, no Nigana, and round one I do not buy. Or tea and one classic, Bebe and I do not buy. Tanapacasa or Base, I be shy, for Nakasa. The best ceremony, Yamsa, free 1 o'clock. I saw Kenyan who would address, I believe so. Why? The best ceremony pass or Bianco Juma, why? Number Bianco, Bianton, Bian. Why? A ceremony palm. You're at the ceremony palm, why? So, Bianco Juma, why?
Let's go back to the Metro Mass Transit Limited headquarters here in Accra, where General Secretary for the Transport and Petroleum Workers Union, Petroleum and Chemical Workers Union, has been addressing the gathering at the headquarters in Accra.
That we have visited in that room there. Let me tell you that if we were not interested in your case concerning Metro Mass, we wouldn't have come to this level. We are committed to the success of the business as well as the success of we workers. But I also want you to get one thing very, very clear. We have the right to do what we have done. And I assure you that what we have done now, we have sent a signal to the whole world. And then we have also made the whole world to see the issues that are happening in Metro Mass, which of course, if you listen to the media interactions we had today, the way the media men were probing your issues, you could see that it's a concern for all Ghanaians in this country. Let me say that the wake call has come. The wake call has come for you and me. And I'm telling you, fam, that once we have gotten up today over these issues, now it has come to the level of the Secretariat. So I made the minister to understand they shouldn't look at the issue as an issue of Metro Mass. Once it has come, ourselves and her has met today to look at the issues, we are going to assure her that the Secretariat will ensure that the right things are done for the sake of Metro Mass as well as the sake of Ghanaians and with the workers of Metro Mass. But I just want to make one candid appeal to you. Fair enough, nobody is accusing us of whatever we have done. We've done it, and we've mentioned it to her that these are the reasons why we did that, because some people understand when the media was probing your leadership. They were saying that why didn't you go through the processes to do A, B, C? And today we have made the minister to understand and want all Ghanaians to understand, as well as the authorities in this country, that sometimes we workers in this country, we realize that the only weapon and the only language our politicians will understand is what we have done.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we have done it, and I must tell you honestly that, luckily for us and luckily for everybody, nobody is going to be accused of doing anything that is wrong.
Yes, sir.
But I would just like to make an appeal to all of you. We have registered our issues, spelled them up. The resolution that we have adopted has been given to her. Will be given to her now in your presence, though we have discussed details of it. But the point I want you to realize that we are working through certain steps, certain legalities, and we cannot just put the cart before the horse. At least the normal thing should be done. We've spoken to her. She has heard our grievances. She has given us the assurance that her ministry is going to initiate steps. But she also made a point clear to us. Those people we are targeting now, taking them on is beyond her. If you are talking about getting rid of the board chairman, it is beyond her as a minister. And now, she cannot just get up and take pen and paper to ask that the board chairman should leave, the DMD should leave. But however, she has heard us, she has taken our resolution, she has promised she's going to work on it, and then I go, please understand I want you to understand the issue. So please understand me. Please, what is going to happen is that, please, whether we like it or not, we have to address our issue through the right channel. Once she cannot take action, we must all understand it. She cannot address that issue. But then but we are saying that the issues will go up there, and she has given us the assurance that within now the next 2 weeks, 2 days. 2 weeks, 2 days. Please listen to me. 2 weeks, 2 days, we are going to have this issue resolved.
We'll stay on the subject over the next few minutes and go across the country. Georgina Apia is joining us from the Central Region. Georgina.
Hello.
What's your story from your area?
Well, in People's here, the issue is not different from what is happening elsewhere. Actually, I was there around 10 a.m. this morning, and the place was virtually empty. And in fact, immediately you get there, you're greeted with red bands with the green one by the workers. And I didn't see any passenger around.
How is this affecting movement?
Hello, come again.
How is it affecting people who want to move from one point to the other using the Metro Mass buses?
Like I said earlier, I didn't see any passenger around because I think they are all notified about what is going on. And we have other transport stations in Cape Coast. So when they get there and they see that they are not working, they move to elsewhere to take their bus.
Very well, we'll leave it here. Thank you very much. Georgina Apia joined us from the Central Region, where passengers have found alternative ways to move around without the Metro Mass buses. We can go to the Upper West Region. Rafiq Salam joined us from WA. Hello, Rafiq.
Hello, community.
Tell us about WA and the strike.
The situation in the Upper West Region is very bad, and then several passengers are left stranded at the Metro Mass Transit depot here in WA. I spoke to Mr. Clifford Kweku Asante, who is the Vice Chairman of the Upper West Senior Staff Association, and he told me that even though the whole country Metro Mass Transit Limited they are on strike, in the case of the Upper West Region, it's even partial. They are on partial strike because some buses that are with them, they have already issued advance tickets on them, and so they enable those buses. They asked them to leave this morning, so they left around 6, 7 o'clock. But after that, the strike came into effect. And so moving to the station itself, the buses are not there, but one can cite private operators, private urban, Sanyon or whatever. They are there, and then they are trying to cash in on that. I spoke to some of the passengers, and they told me about the situation because it's really bad for them because they are giving them at cutthroat prices or skyrocketing prices because a place like Kundugu or Fancy, there's no bus or no car that goes that area apart from the Metro Mass Transit Limited. And teachers who are supposed to be at school tomorrow are left stranded. And so these private operators who came into the scene are now giving it them at cutthroat prices because Kundugu used to be 9 cities, used to be 10 cities. Today is now 13 cities. And Fancy also used to be 9 cities. Today is 13 cities. And so the teachers are really furious, and they are really furious to the marrow. And so they are asking government and MMT to do something about it.
Thank you very much for that report as well from the Upper West Region that began the day on a partial strike. Now, from the Upper West Region, we'll turn attention to the other regions. Perhaps we'll come back to the Greater Accra region, find out what it was like earlier today. Oh, well, I understand that I could go to the Northern region where Mohammed Hashmin has joined us with some information. Mohammed.
Kamini.
What have you got to tell us?
Well, the situation is also affecting passengers here in Tamale. This morning, when I arrived at the Metro Mass Transit Depot here in Tamale, I saw scores of expatriates who were trying to get tickets to travel to Accra to be able to get their flight their various destinations. According to many of them, because many of the domestic airlines are not operating here in Tamale because of the severe harmattan resulting into bad weather, they shifted their attention to road transport, and they thought it wise to use the metro mass transport. And they got to the station and they were told that the workers, drivers of the metro mass transport are on strike. According to many of them, if they are unable to travel to Accra within the next 3 hours or so, they may be missing their flight to wherever they will be going from tomorrow. So they were thinking of getting alternative means of transport to the place. But I also realized that some passengers who were able to buy their tickets in time are being attended to by the Metro Mass Transport Company here in Tamale.
Ashmi, thank you very much for that. We can now look into the situation in the Ashanti region, where earlier today these workers were enjoying some good music, live band music, as they went on strike in protest of some board, or in protest of a board member and deputy managing director still in office. What they're asking for is that these two persons be dismissed and kicked out of their offices in connection with some 12 buses that were supposedly missing. Now, Ohim Interior is joining us from the headquarters in the Ashanti Regional Headquarters for a quick reaction on what the Ministry, the Minister of Transport has been telling the workers here in Accra. Ohiming.
Hello.
Ohiming, what's been the main reaction from these workers after the Minister of Transport, Jifa Ativo, addressed a section of the workers here in Accra?
Yes, there's a mixed reaction from the workers. Some believe that the 2 week as announced by the minister is too long. They believe that the committee set up to investigate the matter has done a thorough job, and it doesn't need 2 weeks for the ministry to react or act on this particular committee report. And they want the ministry, if they can cut the timeline from 2 weeks to 3 days, that will be enough. If not, then they will continue with their action. And some also believe that once the minister has been responded to their calls and paid them a visit, giving up to this particular meeting, they believe strongly that indeed is a step in the right direction. So for the 2 weeks, they will just agree. But for them, for the workers to come as a group, they will have to meet and then discuss the matter before, and then take a decision before they can speak officially on this particular issue.
Still having a field day in Kumasi.
Yes, the action has had a very long toll on the traveling public, especially those that officials of the MMT consider as the vulnerable. They include students who are school, because school has reopened, and they needed to rush back to their various and respective schools. But unfortunately for them, especially those traveling to the 3 northern regions, Central Region, Eastern and Western regions, I had a chat with some of them. Some had to sleep over at the place last night with the hope that they will catch up the early morning bus. But unfortunately for them, that did not happen. And as of now, they don't even know what to do. And the unfortunate thing is that they have big luggage, which for them will be difficult for them to transport it to the various other alternative transport stations. And the other issue is that traveling to the same northern regions is expensive. When you take the other commercial transport vehicles, they take 50 Ghana cedis. For instance, when you are traveling to Wa, but Metro Mass Transit takes only 205 Ghana cedis. So they think that this is moderate if you compare Metro Mass to other transport or other.
So we still have some stranded commuters.
Yes. The commuters are still here. They haven't moved.
How many of them do you see?
Oh, Kamini, they are here in their numbers, especially the students who believe that Metro Mass is the best alternative for them. They are here hoping that authorities will resolve the issue and then get them buses to transport them to their various destinations. For the students, they are here. But for the adults, when they come and they miss the situation, they leave without even, some of them will not even step down.
So what is the general consensus in Kumasi? Will they be going back to work?
Yes, as we speak, the workers have not met as a group. They are here individually. But some of them say that even before they take the decision, a lot will depend on the union executives. I'm talking about the divisional union, where we have both the junior staff union and then the senior staff union. Don't forget that on Friday, 53 of the divisional union executive members attended the meeting that gave birth to today's action. So they want the union to meet again, take a decision that will bind the entire members before they can make official pronouncements.
Oyemi, thank you very much for that information. But earlier today in Kumasi, this is what the terminal looked like. You're still watching news today. There's more to come here. Don't go away. You're watching news today. Now, the Bank of Ghana has served notice of government's intention to borrow 25.42 billion Ghana cedis from the domestic market within the first 6 months of the year. The amount is twice the 12.72 billion cedis the government borrows through the issuance of government securities in the same period last year. Now let's talk about this over the next few minutes. Dr. Tony Parsons is with the Bastia's Ghana Institute and Economic Policy Think Tank. He's here with me in the studio. Thank you very much for joining us here again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is government capable of getting all of this money from the domestic markets over the next six months?
Definitely. In the borrowing market, sometimes you have to get a promoter to promote whatever shares you are putting out there. So it also depends. But if we are making a clear analysis, you realize that the lenders are even seeing Ghana as a country, or possible the government as a risk borrower, because there is a level upon which when you continue borrowing, it does not matter how people believe you could really pay, or sometimes we see you to be more fortunate for the market to support you in terms of lending. The certain level of borrowing make you a risk borrower, and that is the level upon which government is going. So at that point, it will even make the lenders see government as a risk borrower. So you realize that even they are coming in and they think based on certain types of asset we have, they want to lend in a shorter period of time.
What is your assessment as the government of Ghana is it a risk borrower?
In my assessment as of now, where we are going, government of Ghana is becoming a risk borrower. In the position that
even on the domestic market,
yes, in the domestic, becoming a risk borrower. Because you see, remember, if you are studying a little history of where we have come from, so the time Kufuor came and he took us to HIPIC, why was it that all our money was slashed off? You see, these are some of the challenges some of the lenders continue to consider. Because in the principle of insurance, the theory that governs insurance operation, in its practical implementation, there is some level of default. In a paperwork, the theory is perfect. But in practical, so these are some factors that also makes those that are lending also take in consideration the possibility where it happens that there is a default in payment in a longer time. What does he do at the end of the time? So you realize that when you are even borrowing, the interest rate begins to go up because there is that insurance involvement in it in order that they can secure. But if you are studying a good theory about the financial market very well, you realize that the insurance that cover the financial market, they have also realized that there is that a default, more like the implementation of that theory is not clear. So
one would consider the government of Ghana, let's look at the domestic market. One would consider the government of Ghana treasuries and bonds the safest to buy in a form of lending to the government, because then in any case the interest rates are good, and that is more reason SMEs should be afraid if government is borrowing this much from the domestic market. So for some people, it's safe to borrow to the government or lend to the government rather.
On that case, if you are making a comparative analysis using the SME and the government, then I'm telling you that the lenders perceive government to be safer. To be lending to the government as compared to the SME.
So then it's a 50-50. It's either the lenders will trust government to be able to raise the interest and pay them back, or they wouldn't trust government as they have done over the years. It's a 50-50.
Yes, in certain point, and the angle maybe you may be coming from, they may see it as 50-50. But I'm also letting you to know that others may not even see it as 50-50. They may possibly sometimes see it as 70/30. On the condition that where government is going, I started from my first assertion that if we are not having an economic system where productivity could support any expenditure government is making, then I'm telling you that every type of spending is rather going to create an increase in inflation and also create our macroeconomic environment more unstable. And therefore,
let's look at the situation we have now. Should we expect interest on our treasuries to go up?
Automatically. Somebody will tell you that in a practical economic theory, as of the part where they are going, if we are scientifically analyzing it, then definitely that is where the result will be. With the exception that maybe they are going to intervene with other proceedings that we are not sure for now. But if that is the formula that they are tracking on, then it is easy for we to conclude, because that is the work of science. If we understand the pros of how you are able to do your pros, we can easily calculate for the cons. But as of now, the part they are going, if that is where it is going, then we know that that is how the story will be.
In that regard, or in that light, can we then say that we should expect interest rates generally when we borrow from the banks to also go up, especially when they measure it per the treasury bill rate?
As perfect as where you have come. And secondly, we should also assume clearly, likely that the banks are going to increase in terms of their ideology that SMEs are marginalized and may always see the SME as of now looking at the environment, because most of the bankers seems to have developed packages for SMEs, but you realize that they are not in terms of practical implementation has never been realized because of how the system they find themselves operating. Government is taking so much to make them see themselves as a possibility to lend to the SME.
It's a shame we'll have to end the conversation here, Doc. I just wish we could continue on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Dr. Treneboa Seinzu is with the Bastiat Ghana Institute, an economic policy think tank. Now, we can go back to the issue around the Metro Mass Transit Limited, where my understanding is that the workers have called off their strike. Let's speak to our reporter on the ground, Latif Idris. Latif. Hello, Latif. Latif, exactly what have these workers been saying?
Yeah, you know, like I reported earlier, after the minister spoke, the MD himself came and then appealed to the workers to go back to work. So as I speak to you now, the strike has been called off, and this place has now been deserted. If you come here, it looks different what it looked in the morning when I got here, when we had staff of MMT packed themselves here. Now the place is empty. I mean, all the drivers, the conductors, and you know, managers of this Metro Mass have packed and now are on the street to move the nation as they used to do.
Very well. Latif, I'm going to have you hold the line. Delali Kuma is Senior Staff Chair of the MMT. He's joined us over the telephone. Delali.
Hello.
You must be happy for calling off the strike.
No, we are not fully done yet. It's just that the minister has come for our grievances and has promised to work on them. So she promised us she would be done by the end of the month. So we are just waiting on her. So we cannot say Uhuru yet.
So where are your members now?
Our members are gone back to work and we are working whilst we await the minister's intervention.
Delali, is it just here in Accra or it's across the country that all the workers are going back to work?
Nationwide.
Nationwide. Has this been circulated?
Hello?
I'm asking if it's been circulated for your members to go back to work.
Yes, we are. The communication process is ongoing. We are not done yet, but we are still on it.
But Dalali, if all it took was a promise to have your grievances met or your grievances dealt with, why would you make the nation lose so much money in such a short period?
It's not just a promise. We held serious deliberations over it, and we came to a settlement. Even as litigation must come to an end at a point.
Hello, Dalali.
Hello.
And so all of this, like you were saying, go ahead.
Yes. So like I was saying, we knew it was going to be punitive, but the issues at Metromas cannot be dealt with just kid gloves.
But why didn't you write to the Ministry of Transport first if their promise was very important to you?
Oh, it takes more than just talk to resolve such issues.
So Dalali, so this money and the time lost to the strike, do you expect to be paid for it?
It's a collective loss to us all, but the issues that we raised, if they were left unattended to, will incur more losses than we incurred embarking on our action.
Very well. Dalali, thank you very much for your time. Latif.
You know, I like the question you posed to him about the financial bit of it. I mean, the amount of money that the nation has lost. You know, in an interview, I spoke with one driver, and he told me that one trip, you know, he makes a sales of 3,000 Ghana cedis just from here to somewhere in the Upper Volta region. He makes 3,000 Ghana cedis. So you can just imagine the amount of, money that has gone down the drain within this short period, you know, of time. If you can multiply that 3,000 cedis by the number of, MMPs that ply that road, you can just imagine the amount of money that has gone down the drain within, this short period.
Well, tell us what you see. He says these workers have gone back to work. Is that what you see?
Yeah, they've gone back to work. You know, now the place is almost empty. And, you know, it's going to be resolved within 2 weeks, 2 days. That is the period in which we expect all these, issues to be resolved by the ministry, in conjunction with the MMT.
Very well, Latif. We'll leave it here. Thank you very much. Latif Idris joined us from the headquarters of the Metro Mass Transit Limited. Now, next year's sports with Baba Tando. Don't go away.
Good afternoon, my name is Baba Tando. Let's talk sports now, and we begin from the camp of Accra Hearts of Folk. And reports indicate, reaching us indicates that they have sacked their physiotherapist in the person of Kobe Boate for non-performance. Now on phone with me is Said Muhib, and he is the communications director at Accra Hearts of Folk. Hello, Said. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Said, these are reports that we are picking up that Hearts of Folk has sacked physiotherapist Kobe Boate for non-performance. How true is the story?
Well, it is true that he's no longer in charge of our physiotherapy department. We parted ways with him, but the reason is not for non-performance.
But what could the reason be?
You might be aware that he's in charge of the stadium clinic, and so the work he is doing at Accra House of Folk is on part-time basis. Unfortunately, this season we're going to be very busy. We're playing 2 matches within the week, weekends and midweek, as well as continental matches. And we thought that we would not be able to cope up, and so we discussed with him, and then we parted ways.
I see, but in the meantime, is there a replacement for him?
There's a replacement for him. It's actually his own boy, Ernest Anum, who worked under him during Kuntiki Akono's time in charge of the club.
I see. So, Mohib, let's move away from the physiotherapy department and talk about the club as far as you are getting started with the Premier League 2014-2015 is almost underway. Hearts of Oak, how have your preparations gone so far?
Preparation has gone very smoothly. Yesterday we were in Akosombo. We played a local Division 2 side, Crystal Palace, 5-0. We are staying at Akosombo for residential campaign, and it is from Akosombo that we are moving to Bando to play our first league match against West Africa Football Academy.
Okay.
We are quite ready.
All right. Getting to the end of last season, I know you were banned from playing at your home grounds for 2 matches. These 2 matches, do they take effect when the league begins, or it will happen during the Elite Cup competition? I mean, which is it?
It begins with the league match that we are playing this weekend. We're supposed to have played a home game against Wafa, but because of the ban, the match has been shifted to Sunday. We are also honoring our second scheduled home match, which is the 3rd week fixture against Midiama, also at the AC Pond Stadium, as a result of the ban.
Okay. Now, my final question to you. In order to avert some of these punishments from the Football Association and its other bodies, tell us, what is Hearts of Oak doing about this?
We have engaged our supporters quite extensively. We've made them understand that some of these reactions at the stadium have not been very helpful. And we are very sure that they are going to respond positively. We also pray that we will have less provocative officiating this time round.
Said Muhib is Public Relations Officer of Ghana Premier League side Accra Hearts of Oak, and he has just confirmed to us that indeed the club have sacked physiotherapist Kobe Bote, but okay, he wasn't sacked actually, but they parted company on mutual ground. So we'll bring you more updates from the camp of the senior national team, the Black Stars, who are currently in Spain. Remember that they'll be playing a friendly match on Wednesday. For now, we know that it's against German Bundesliga 1 side Freiburg, but of course we'll stay up to date with them and let you know what is happening. My name is Baba Tando. Sports is done for now. The news is back with Kemini after this break. Have a good afternoon.